So I'm re-recording the material from week 11. I wasn't too satisfied with how things went, so I thought this might be more efficient in terms of you being able to go through the material. I've also cleaned up the Power BI file or project for this week. Things that I've done. I have my measures table. So I now have the measures that we created on week 10. And I've also got the measures that we created for what would be this week, which would be week 11. So it's all nicely organized. And what I'll do is I'm just going to spend some time going through the different functions that we used. Okay. And I'll just point, they're in that file. So is blank really allows you, it's really good for testing to determine if you're returning null values. The VertiPack that we use doesn't optimize is blank. So it is, if you're doing basically designing your dashboards and you're calculating measures for your dashboards, it is best to avoid is blank. The preferred method is to use coalesce. But is blank is there, and it's fairly good for testing your DAX code. And also is blank is good if you're using is blank in any logic statements or filtering. Okay. And as we can see here, well, in this one, we're calculating total cost previous year. There will be, because we have a start period, start date in terms of the first year. There won't be any previous year data. And in this example, we're using the date add function. So we're picking date add, fact orders, order date, by date, dot date, -1, we're going backwards in time, and the increment we're going backwards is by year. And there will be times when that value is blank or null because there isn't a previous year. Nice. Okay. And as we can see in the chart here, with using here we're seeing is blanks. You're seeing missing values in here because that's for the previous year, for the current year or the first year. But then the previous year, there is no previous year, right? So there's no. Would be 2020, and there was no 2019. And this was the calculation in terms of, as I just said, as I mentioned. Okay, now I can throw in an is blank, and I'm using my logic statement. So total cost previous year is blank. So if is blank, total cost previous year, and total cost previous year was calculated here. Okay, so if total cost previous year, if it is blank, so if that's true, fill that column in your table with no cost data. Otherwise, if is blank is not true or false, then put the total cost previous year in. So I used is blank in my logic statement, and it actually works fairly effectively here. And I should have, let me just check something here. Oh, I'll fix it. Yeah, so if I'm here, if I want to find more about is blank or any other functions, I can just, there we go. Okay. Another example of is blank, just a bit more, I don't know, goofy, I guess. I've got my two ifs. So if, in this case, if is blank is equal to false for total cost. So if the total cost is, if it has a value, then I go to the next one. Well, if is blank, total cost previous year, if that is false and there is a value, then calculate the percent, like total cost minus total cost previous year divided by total cost. That should be total cost previous year, but that's okay. And then the fill that logic statement, if the is blank is true for the second if here, if that's true, then no previous year. And if there is no previous, if the total cost is empty or null, and this statement is true for this one, then the final end for the else for my if statement for the first one is no current year. Okay. And just a couple of simple examples. Is blank can be used for just code testing. You can also use for error handling. You can use if error. So I just have two simple examples here. If error, simple example, error 1 divided by 0 returns division by 0 error, right? And so if error, here's your calculation, and here this could be some operation that you're performing. I'm just doing a simple 1 divided by 0, and here's the comment or the return for the if error, a division by 0. And then the second example is simply another if error, and in this case, just 10 divided by 2 doesn't produce an error, and therefore, if error is equal to false, it does the 10 divided by 2. Or if error equal to true, for the 10 divided by 2, it returns division by 0. Otherwise, it just returns the calculation. Okay. We talked about creating variables in Power BI. Creating variables or vars can be really helpful in terms of just really for coding practices. If you're working with a number of variables and you don't want to create distinct measures for them, you don't want to clutter your measures table up. I have one here that just a really simple example. So, we have total profit, sum, dim orders, item total profit. So there's my measure. And then I have here total profit discounted, calculate sum, total item profit. Filter, dim orders if the discount is greater than 0. There was a discount applied. And then at the bottom of my DAX code, I have my return. And for my return, I'm just returning the total profit discounted. And then the second example, no discount applied. Using my calculate, just throwing a var around, packaging my calculate in a var, and then just doing a return. So fairly straightforward, but it's just kind of like a very simple example. The next example is, one other point here. You have to be mindful of filtering if you're using vars. In the first example here, I have the filter within the var in terms of the calculations. So, var total profit, no, not discounted, calculate sum, and then filter discount equal to 0. There was no discount applied. Then return total profit. The second example here, total profit, this is wrong. So I'm doing the sum, and then in the return, I'm doing calculate total profit, which is the var that I created, and then I'm throwing in the filter, after with the return. And what happens there is the filter doesn't apply. So I can see here in the table, total profit discount, no discount applied. Discount equal to 0, discount equal to 0. 63 total profit, no discount applied. There we go, because it's the total profit. So this filter here was just ignored. Okay. A better example, or more useful example, practical example with var is calculating, doing division or a ratio. So in this one, no discount profit. So I'm taking here if there is a discount, discount greater than 0, and then I'm returning. Then I have my var total profit, sum total item total profit, and then I just take the var ratio, which is the division, the divide, no discount profit, divide by total profit if it's indeterminate or division by 0, return just a dash, and then return ratio. So calculate no discount profit, probably not the best name. var total profit, form the ratio of no discount profit with total profit with the var ratio, and then return ratio. So it's much cleaner coding, and I didn't have to create any. I didn't have to create a permanent measure to do this. Okay. You can do conversion functions in terms of you can explicitly state the function, the data type for any given measures that you create, And just a simple example on the next page here, creating a new column. So I've added a column to the dim order items. So I've added that column, so average item cost. So I'm simply taking it and defining it as a currency, that column I've created. I'm rounding to 2 decimal places, and I'm taking the dim order item total cost and dividing it by the dim order quantity. So basically, total item cost in the first case is 103 divided by 2, which is 51.5. So in this case, I've stated in my DAX measure, which is a new column. I'm just stating it as a currency. And you can do that for date, time, date value, and such. All right, let's go. Okay, and then another function is the switch function. Once again, I'm creating a new table. I've added this to the fact table. So I just want to take the, I want to create the month number. So in this, I've done it as a var. So I've created var month num, which is the month, the order date for a month from the order date. So it pulls out the month, but it pulls it out as a number. And I want to convert that to text. So I'm using the switch. So I've created the variable month num. And then I'm going to create the variable order month. And then I'm doing a switch. So using the variable month num, which is going to give me 1, 2, 3 through 12 for the month, I've made the switch in terms of the recode. 1 becomes January, 2 becomes February. So, and I've done that as a switch to create a new column in my fact orders table. Okay, coalesce is used, typically used in place of is blank. So with coalesce, I can basically do if a null or if the value returned is blank, I can return no previous year. For example, in this case, I've just done a slight change to the when we use the is blank for the previous year calculation. And in this case, I'm not doing any kind of like logic statements. I'm not working with blank. I just want to fill out my table. So coalesce is the preferred method. Okay. So, and then that is all available in Power BI. And and once again, I have all the measures for week 10. So they're all here. You can go through them. And then I have the ones that we did we're doing for week 11 here. Hopefully this makes it a little simpler and a little clearer.